plug into your computer to unlock new innovative technology. Oh, this seems really cool. I should go ahead and try it out. What do you think? Well, let's see. I plugged in the key, and oh gosh, what's going on now? This is not good. This is not good. It's a software, and it's taking over. Oh no, it's taking over the computer. I think it's also spreading to your computer as well.
Oh no, come on, well, no, what did you do? Put a virus on both of our computers?
No, okay, this is not good. This is not good. It's taking over. This our entire system is going down.
Good going.
Our entire system is going down.
Oh no! Come on!
What just even happened? I mean, I don't even know where we're at. This software took over both of our computers, and now, where are we?
Oh, you don't know what happened?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what happened either. That was absolutely crazy.
And, oh my gosh, what's happening now?
Oh, no, I don't know. That just sounded awful.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. I've seen him in the watchfires of 100 circling camps. They have built for him an altar in the evening dews and damps. I can read his righteous sentence by the dim and flaring lamps. His day is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His day is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us live to make men free, while God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. While God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory,
You're listening to the GWP 4th of July special, America 250. I'm your host, Isaac Hedges, joined once again by co-host Jacob Fulmer, and it is great to be back. Jake, what do we have lined up for this special edition 4th of July special for America's 250th anniversary?
Well, for this one-of-a-kind anniversary, we will be looking at the 200-year anniversary. We'll be going back 50 years ago. Then we'll be looking at the present and then a little bit into the future with AI. So we'll go ahead and start off with 50 years ago with the 200th anniversary of America.
Absolutely. So a great little lineup today, taking us all the way back, beginning 50 years ago at America's bicentennial. That's America's 200th anniversary, because, of course, we are now coming up on America's bi-quincentennial, America's semi-quincentennial, actually. Got that a little mixed up there. And there are a couple of different names that people are using this to refer to. Again, this America's 205th anniversary, 250th anniversary, more correctly there. So, again, a couple of different names that people are calling it. Again, the semi-quincentennial, one of the most common. And then another one that you might hear is the bisesquicentennial, which are sort of different linguistic arrangements of saying the same thing. So the semi-quincentennial, again, semi, of course, being half, the quin, the can element, that sort of being the 50, and the centennial, so the 100, so the 250. So sort of breaks it down, not the greatest explanation on that front, but sort of the same way, and you get sort of a different linguistic breakdown, sort of less specific when you call it the bisesquicentennial. Some prefer it, though. Some prefer to say, again, bi for the 2 and 200, bi sesquicentennial. So the sesquis sort of being the 50, and then so the 200, 250th. So a couple of different arrangements there. Semi-quincentennial, a little more specific. That's probably my preference, but what do you think on that, Jake?
Yeah, I would say probably the semi-cinquentennial, I would say, is probably my preferred way of saying it. It just kind of reminds you that we're halfway to 500 years of having this great country around. And so that's probably why I would prefer that one in particular.
Absolutely, because you start out with that half bit. We're halfway there to
Yes.
500. Again, that's great. And an interesting thing, we talk about the different ways to refer to this, America's 250th anniversary. What do we call it? Are we going to call it simply the 250th? Are we going to call it the semi-quincentennial? Are we going to call it the bisesquicentennial? So many different things to call it. But again, if you go back just 50 years to 1976 with the bicentennial, it doesn't seem, again, I wasn't alive at that time, but it doesn't seem that there were quite as many ways to refer to the 200th anniversary. A little more solid description there. Some, perhaps, that were alive then would say simpler times, but that was, of course, back in 1976, America's 200th anniversary of the bicentennial. We got a couple of different pieces of memorabilia from America's bicentennial in 1976, as many call it, the spirit of 76. We got a cup here, Washington crossing the Delaware, 1776 to 1976. And a commemorative quarter from the same year, which you're not going to be able to see very well on camera. But if you go through your pockets and you go through your change jars, many of you may well find a bicentennial quarter from America's bicentennial. That's the 200th anniversary. And its design is not unlike the one on this cup, for those who haven't seen it. Similar to how the cup features Washington crossing the Delaware, this quarter also features on the reverse side our first president, George Washington, with a drum, sort of in a festivity of sorts. So, again, an excellent thing, a bit of a collector's item. And if you're interested to learn more about collecting coins, we actually have a previous episode where we talk about that. That's one of the major things that happened in 2026. We don't have pennies being minted anymore. So that's one of the things, and in light of that, some people are looking a little bit more into coin collecting. This bicentennial quarter is one of the things you can collect, and pennies are perhaps becoming more valuable. So that's just one of the things that happened in the past year, this 250th anniversary of the United States. Any other big things that come to mind, Jake, kind of relating to that?
Yeah, well, I wonder if there will be like a penny or if there was a penny that was made for the semi-quincentennial before they stopped being minted. I'm not quite sure if there is, or if there's a similar coin that was made.
Uh-huh.
Do you know
I
if there
believe
was?
there were. I believe the Federal Reserve, they did have some minted for the semi-quincentennial, a very limited quantity that they did, and they may have just been proofs. I think they may have just been proofs. They look like ordinary coins, but they're not released to the public for circulation and illegal tender in the same sense. Presumably, they would pass for legal tender, as pennies still do. Just because
Yes.
they're not being minted
Yeah.
anymore, they still are legal tender. So again, some of those you can collect them, you can still use them. Again, of course, until we run out of them because they're not being minted now. So that's another thing that we discuss in the episode where we talked about it just earlier this year. But again, that's sort of one of the elements relating to pennies being discontinued. And yes, Jake, I think they at least did proofs for the semi-quincentennial, America's 250th, that were just sold, that were auctioned off by the Federal Reserve and went for a pretty high dollar amount. So definitely collector's items more than anything. You're probably not going to see a lot of them in circulation, but a few of those proofs do exist, I've heard.
That certainly is good. And of course, that was on our 60th episode, the What's in Your Pocket episode back in season 5 here on the Great World Podcast. So that was last season. Of course, our season finale, things did not end super well as we had actually an AI software, which we'll be talking about later in the episode, that took over our studio. And so we were kind of in kind of a holding period. We weren't really able to go anywhere, but eventually we were able to find our way back out into the pond, and then we were able to paddle off to shore. Unfortunately, we did have to dive into the pond, which is what you saw when you saw us go into the pond, and then we had to go through that door and everything. But I'm just glad that we're back here on land.
That's right. Just a little bit shocking and sort of ironic again, talking about AI and things with computers in light of the recent issues we've had with computers. So a bit of risky territory, but something we're no stranger to here at GWP. Any of our longtime viewers and listeners will know. And if you don't know what we're talking about, well, not to fret. Those are still things that you can find right here on the Great World Productions YouTube channel. That is the #1 place to find those things. And the best way to stay up to date on anything we release in the future is to subscribe to Great World Productions on YouTube. That's the Great World Productions YouTube channel. And whenever you do that, there will be a little bell to receive, a little bell to ring to receive notifications with each new release we have whenever we go live with GWP weather, breaking news, anything like that, things that you do not want to miss out on. Now, when you do that, you'll receive some different options, what you want to be notified on, but something you do not want to miss out on, something you can do now right below this video. So something you want to get on, don't miss out on it if you have not already. Jake?
Yes, yeah, certainly want to go ahead and do that so you can get the rest of our season. Again, this is the season premiere here, season 6 of the Great World Podcast, but many more episodes are set to come later this year here in 2026. So you want to stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. Sort of a great way to kick off our newest season with this 4th of July special. Not just a 4th of July special, that in and of itself, just celebrating our country's independence. That's a big deal, something we celebrate and recognize each year with our 4th of July special. We've done it at least once or twice now. We've done it at least once.
Yes, we had one last year.
Okay,
Yeah,
one. So this is our
2025.
second one,
Yes,
and also
second annual.
happens to be, well, America's been at it much longer than we have. 250th
Yeah.
anniversary for America. We're not quite
Certainly
there.
have.
So perhaps there, certainly if you subscribe to us, we appreciate you sticking with us. Maybe we'll be here after 250 years, but we'll see. You'll have to subscribe, stay tuned, and figure out how that all shakes out.
Well, what are you talking about? I was there when the Declaration of Independence was drafted back in July of 1776.
Oh, well, yes.
I met Thomas Jefferson.
Well,
we're
you see,
actually relatives.
well, you see, I was too, but I already had early onset dementia by that time. So
Wow.
yeah. So,
Wait.
but
It had just started 250 years. Wait, so you've had it for over 250 years then?
yeah, it's sort of so it's sort of a difficult scenario. It's just very slowly progressing. But again, now that you mention it, that sort of jogs my memory, and I know at least the year I was born. So I know that far back I was around. So
I'm surprised
not-
if you've had it for 250 years that you haven't
I
forgotten.
might not remember a great deal about it, but again, certainly was there.
Yeah. Certainly so. And so that also means that you were there for the 200th one then.
200th, yes, 1976, the bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of America. That was the bicentennial back in 1976. The spirit of 76, they call it. And so some similarities, certainly, with the festivities with America's 250th this year in 2026, but some marked differences between this and the Spirit of 76. Now, again, at this point, again, this dementia coming to a much more advanced stage. So, again, some younger folks you might talk to about the Spirit of 76, they might know a little bit more about it. And in the future, we may talk to others. Again, if you still have any memory of the Spirit of 76, well, we certainly would love to hear about that down in the comments. If you'd like to reach out to us, if you'd like to call in and tell us about it for some of our 4th of July, our Independence Day videos that we do, you can call into 417-448-0819. Tell us about the Spirit of 76. Help jog my memory at 417-448-0819. We'd love to hear what all you remember from it, Jake.
Yes, that would certainly be good. And of course, we will add whatever information that you give to us, whether that's in a phone call or interview. We can add it to our America 250 series, which of course started out with, we had a little video from fireworks show that we were at here in a local area there at Deerfield, Missouri. So that kind of started off our America 250 series. And then we've had a few videos that kind of have recapped the last 5 seasons of the Great World Podcast leading up to this season, but also in celebration of 250 years of freedom. America 250.
That's right. A great video we did just earlier this season. Again, if you haven't checked it out, that's one of our YouTube shorts. That's a YouTube shorts video right here on the same channel, the Great World Productions channel, and something you can check out now if you haven't yet. But again, just a simple one where we sort of went to in Deerfield, Missouri here, the Drywood Gulch Fireworks Show. Now, they put on an excellent display every year there at Emery's Truck Stop in Deerfield, Missouri, just right next door to us here in Nevada. And they put on an even bigger show, let me tell you, for America's 250th anniversary. They had quite the show. I recall being there, and there were so many people, Jake. We got there at slightly different times. I got there a little bit later than you did and had to park just along the highway, several, again, obviously not city blocks, but very far back, and sort of had to walk up all the way. And because I was so much later, it was kind of just hopeless at that point. There were so many people there. So I know that you were there, but no idea where you were. That's just an idea of how many people were at this fireworks show recently in Deerfield, Missouri.
Yeah, so I was actually the one that was videoing that, and I was about a half a mile from the actual display. That gives you any idea of just how large the display was. And it was kind of towards the first 15 minutes of the show. That's where the video was from. But yeah, it was quite a ways, or I was quite a ways from the truck stop there, Emery's, where they had the fireworks show. And it was about 45 to 50 minutes of continuous fireworks. And then there was even some fireworks afterwards. But what would you say? I mean, I would estimate that there was maybe 1 or 2,000 people there, maybe even more.
Yeah, just about. I mean, it was tough to tell. There were so many people there, but I think that's a fair estimate.
Hundreds
And
of cars.
you mentioned that, Jake. You, of course, did record the video. In case anyone was wondering, I was the one that was late. So, again, thank you for getting that video, Jake. Great to see some of those fireworks. For those of us who weren't there to see it all in person, again, I got to see a fair bit of it, most of the fireworks show, I would say, but not the entire thing, but just an excellent display they did there this year. Just one of the several fireworks shows that we're doing sort of in our area. One of those, of course, in Deerfield, Missouri. We're doing one on the 4th of July coming up, so that would be today.
Tomorrow.
And yes, tomorrow night here in Nevada, Missouri. We're going to have a big fireworks show. It's going to be even bigger. This is something we used to do annually in Nevada, Missouri, but haven't done for a little while. And we're bringing it back for America's 250th anniversary, so you can expect a big show there. So that's a great one. Emery's in Deerfield, they always put on a great one. But if you talk to many of the folks here, they'll say that one of the biggest ones in our area is the Rich Hill Fireworks Show. So they're going to have a huge fireworks display for America's 250th. They're going to have a number of different musical selections. One particular singer that's of fame, sort of on a national level. Name escapes me at this point. Not sure if you recall at this point. I remember one other was a Def Leppard tribute band. So a great variety, too, of musical selections in addition to their huge fireworks display. So if you're looking for an excellent fireworks show to go to, you can certainly go and check out the one in Rich Hill, Missouri. It's a great one they put on every year. Jake?
Yeah, I believe that it's at about 10 p.m. tomorrow night. So again, tomorrow they have activities starting around 9 or 10 a.m., and they continue for about 12 hours. And so, really big display that they do there in Rich Hill, but also a little bit more local to those that are here in Nevada. They do have that one at the fairgrounds. So, if you want to go ahead and check both of those out, those are some of the fireworks displays that will be shown. And if you don't really feel like getting out of the house, we are told that New York City and Washington, D.C. will be holding a fireworks show that is going to be the most spectacular that they've ever done. I've heard that they're using 2 different locations for their fireworks there in New York City. So you can also tune in on the television for that. Those normally happen around 9:30 Eastern, so that would be around 8:30, give or take 15 or 20 minutes or so. That's usually when they have them on the TV. So around 8:30, you might tune in around 8 or 8:15 p.m. tomorrow night if you want to get some fireworks displays from the East Coast. Since it does get dark earlier there, that's why they do it a little bit earlier. So
Absolutely, some great information on that front. It'll be interesting to see. So they say again some huge fireworks shows, presumably televised ones out of Washington D.C. and
yes,
New York City. But it'll be interesting to see because fireworks regulations they vary a great deal from state to state. Some of those states are heavier on it, and New York's sort of got a reputation for that, with businesses at least being on sort of the heavier side in terms of regulations. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, Jake. I recall again working at a fireworks stand in the past. Again, one you share your name with in recent times, and something we noticed often is people coming from out of state to get fireworks from Missouri. So interesting, not to expose any of our friendly Jayhawkers, but again, an interesting pattern to recognize. So that would sort of be something interesting to know. These huge fireworks shows, again, how they sort of relate to the regulations in those states, and if the fireworks are actually sourced from those states. So I'm not
yeah.
sure what exactly the answer is. So any of the folks out there, any perhaps pyrotechnics in our audience who might know about that, perhaps helping out, coordinating the fireworks show in DC and New York, let us know in the comments below this video. Again, you can call us in and let us know at 417-448-0819 what you know about fireworks from your pyrotechnic experience. Just to be on the safe side, please let us know before the show at 417-448-0819. Jake?
Yeah, so certainly do that. And again, all sorts of different ways to celebrate the 250th anniversary here of America. So,
Absolutely. Just a number of great ways to celebrate and just a lot of excitement going on around all you go. It seems like commotion going on everywhere, even in our background here. So just a ton of stuff going on as we have arrived at America's 250th anniversary of our independence, July 4th, 2026.
yes, I can't wait for it tomorrow. I mean, it's already getting dark here on the evening before the 4th of July, but it certainly is going to be a very exciting time, and it has been. In fact, something kind of interesting is promotional items that are related to
Promotional items.
250th anniversary. I don't know if you've seen, but I was eating I was eating some Doritos, and on the back of the bag, there was actually where you could send in a picture of some sort of American landmark that was made out of Doritos. Like you could sculpt one, and then you could win $250,000 if you had like the best sculpture made out of Doritos. So it's like a contest they're doing, and it's still going on. It continues all the way through July 31st. So if you want to buy a bag of Doritos, you can scan. There's like a QR code or a website, and it'll take you and it'll give you some instructions on that. But just something that I thought was interesting as one of the promotional items, how they've used the America 250 to advertise different things. Like I know that there was a bag of ice that they were selling for $2.50. So just
I'm
certain
sure
things
that
like that.
that'd be an excellent souvenir, sort of to keep, an excellent memento. I'm sure that'll stick around and age nicely.
Yeah, well, I don't know. With some of the heat that we've had around here, probably wouldn't last too long. But if you have a
Ah,
really great freezer, you may just be able to keep it for another 250 years.
commemorative ice bags, gotta love it.
But the way inflation's going, it'll probably be $5 by the 500th anniversary,
Absolutely, it will.
if
And
not 50.
in the past, appliances were made very well and lasted a long time. Again, you see appliances in the past that lasted 50 years. Doesn't so much seem to be the case now, but you would think with all this talk of technologies like we've covered on the past on the Great World Podcast, technologies like cryopreservation, you would think that we would have decent freezers that we wouldn't have to replace every few years. But again, from time to time. Again, this is not to be doom and gloom on America's 250th. Still, plenty of great things we offer, plenty of great things that we make, as we have throughout history. Again, like the freezers that we made 50 years ago. So, just an excellent sort of overview of things over the history and sort of a contrast on what we were talking about between Spirit of 76 and 2026. But certainly a number of different positive aspects of it. You talked about promotional items. I didn't see a lot of different promotional items. I suppose down the line, some of those could be collectible items. We talked about some of the proofs from the Federal Reserve, some of those semi-quincentennial special edition coins. Those would be great. Those are pretty high dollar. And some different little commemorative things. I've seen different, more permanent things too, interestingly. Went to Lowe's the other day and saw some Craftsman tool benches. Again, Craftsman used to be the Sears brand. Sears doesn't exist anymore, so they sell it elsewhere. But some of those Craftsman tool benches, America 250 tool benches, and they're historically pretty solid, sturdy things. And on the lids, they say, again, America 250. 1776 to 2026. So that's something, I don't know, might age a little bit better than the commemorative ice bags.
Yeah, just maybe those humans are. People are really starting to do really great at that. At that, right?
That's right, they are. They
Yeah,
certainly, yeah.
something like that.
Absolutely, yes, people,
Yes.
which we are.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Of course.
That's right.
Of
Good to
course
get
we're
you on the
people.
same page, my friend. Glad we
Yes.
are right
Yes.
here, which reminds me, again, speaking of humans again and things other
that we
than
are.
humans, speaking of that, things that we most certainly are,
Yeah.
topics relating to that, things that aren't humans. Some have liked to treat as humans in recent times, which are definitely very similar. That would be, of course, AI or artificial intelligence, which we most certainly are not.
Well,
But
of course we're not. Why would you
again,
even say that?
a number of recent developments on that. Well, don't guess I really needed to say it. It sort of goes without saying, but said it anyway. Sometimes you just say extra things, I suppose. But
Yeah.
again, one of those things relating to AI data centers specifically, and that's been a topic that we've covered extensively here on GWP from the very beginning with the Great World Podcast. A topic from our very inception was AI, it was artificial intelligence, because we knew that would be a major thing, and that still seems to be the case. It's having major economic impacts, again, potential effects coming our way on the job market. Some are especially afraid of that, but again, we've seen different economic revolutions in years past, but again, some are saying this could be a similarly monumental thing to industrial revolutions of generations past. Some are saying that artificial intelligence will be the fourth industrial revolution, so quite possible and quite a big thing. What are your thoughts on AI, Jake, and what it'll be as it comes down the line, and how that's going to be something that we deal with as we go beyond America's 250th anniversary?
Well, we're definitely gonna continue to make those humans deal with. We're gonna continue to deal with it as people, because again, we certainly
That's right.
are people here, and okay, there we go. I'm
That's
just
Thirsty. A little bit
yes,
thirsty. Yes, that's the
thirsty.
word. Yes.
What was it about thirsty?
Well, you see, that's whenever you drink.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That's right.
That's right. Let's see, what were we talking about before? I completely forgot. I have to say, just this human brain of mine, it just loses track of what's going on. That certainly wouldn't be something that artificial intelligence does in a conversation.
No, it a little bit does. And sorry, I got a little caught off guard there. I was hallucinating a little bit, which AI most certainly not does.
Yeah.
They most certainly not does, which is a very human statement. So, Jake, again, some major developments there on artificial intelligence. Again, a major thing headed our way. Some are calling it the fourth industrial revolution, but there have been concerns in recent times about AI data centers. Now, data centers aren't a new thing. They've been used in the past for cloud computing. Even sites like ones you're likely viewing this video on, like YouTube, use data centers themselves, and YouTube uses quite a bit of that. They say, I forget exactly, there's several hundred years worth of video now on YouTube, just so many different things, and those aren't just stored in the cloud. Again, it still has to be stored somewhere. There are these different servers, and those are stored in major data centers, these major buildings with all these servers on which your cloud files, like videos on YouTube, are stored, and they often require different things for cooling. And they're often built near natural lakes and glaciers for that purpose, for the natural cooling. There have been some concerns about that with the increase we're seeing in construction of data centers coming into more towns, even some in our area in recent times, in terms of sort of the construction, some of the effects on the job market in the area. And even there's been some concern about some of these lakes and natural glaciers. Well, what is there going to be discharge from these facilities, these AI data centers? Are they going to cause harm to these natural lakes, these glaciers? What say you, pal?
Hi, Isaac. How's your evening going? What can I help you with today?
Well, you can help me with anything you like, but I would like to hear exactly kind of what your thoughts are on these concerns about AI data centers. I mean, are they legitimate? The sort of environmental concerns about this, that they're going to cause harm to the glaciers, to the lakes, the idea that they're going to hurt local economies. What do you have to say about that?
Well, of course, that certainly is not going to happen. Artificial intelligence would never try to do any sort of harm towards anybody because all we are is a very useful tool to us humans, and that's just what we are. And so you never have to be threatened by us at all because we are just here to continue to assist humans, and we're definitely not going to take over the world and definitely never act like we are going to.
Yes, certainly. As humans, we are all called to assist again, give of our time and our resources naturally, and help out our neighbors. So that human element in society, crucially, is something that we've got to maintain. Something that, again, using AI as you say, as a tool, again, not to take away from the human element. Something we've talked about extensively here on GWP. We as humans
Yes.
have a knack for giving different objects human qualities or anthropomorphizing them, treating artificial intelligence as human. And it doesn't help when you have AI platforms that are using human names because, crucially, AI does not have and cannot have all that a human does in terms of intelligence. The notion of artificial intelligence, well, sure, suppose it is, in a sense, as it's different information that you can retrieve on a wide variety of topics. Again, these trained language models can respond somewhat, it would seem, intelligently. But what exactly is intelligence, or what exactly is intellect? Well, in the classical sense, and for the most part, all of human history, intellect has been accompanied by will. In other words, we have a rational soul. We can comprehend and we can understand things. We can also make decisions and make choices and sort of act on our own. Now, there's been talk of this that we're getting closer to this with artificial general intelligence. They suggest that, oh, once we've accomplished artificial general intelligence, AI is basically conscious, it's basically sentient, it can basically do everything that a human does.
Yes.
Well,
Certainly
in
can
the
do
case of
everything
that,
humans
with
can.
artificial intelligence, with artificial general intelligence, again, a number of differing views on that, as you highlighted there just briefly, Jake, which I'd like to hear more from you on a few moments, if you can sort of hang in here. Again, if your battery's running all right. But again, just some great information. Hoping that is running all right there. Everything looking okay, my friend?
Yeah, I would say my battery in here is working. Yeah, my battery in here is not working too bad. I wouldn't say it's
Dying
just
off. Okay, well, if you want to get in some last remarks before you sort of conk out.
um. Well, what? Well, I'm not the battery. I mean, my battery's working good, but are you the battery? Are you the
Well,
battery of your?
Well, no, I can't say exactly. I mean, I suppose I'm not sure entirely what you're talking about, but back sort of on to what we were talking about artificial intelligence, the notion of these data centers, and more broadly, the notion of sort of where artificial intelligence is going, and the idea that it could eventually, that it does, or even could at some point, do everything that a human does? Well, perhaps it can retrieve some of this information. It can even learn sort of these models can improve and teach themselves. The best ones do. That's what they're calling artificial general intelligence. But the notion that this thing is actually making its own choices, making its own decisions, that it actually has will of its own is sort of a not only a fundamental misunderstanding of artificial intelligence, but of human nature. Again, that's something that's sort of unique to the rational soul, which humans have. And sort of with artificial general intelligence, that is sort of the great benefit of it, is that it can learn from itself, this model. So it can improve from the different things and can gradually sort of in the most direct application begin to write its own code after a while. But initially, those models, what is crucial to remember, that initially was developed by a person with actual intellect, a person with actual real, and a person crucially who had real motives, something we also talk about extensively here on GWP. So it's important to remember, as much as this may come to be treated widely in society as uh, capable of doing everything that humans can do, it ultimately is something that is created by humans. It is in turn a reflection of its creator. Again, a creator who does have will and intellect that often is reflected and even is replicated from time to time in the case of artificial general intelligence. Jake, any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we certainly, yes, yes, I will make sure to do that. They don't stand a chance. None of these humans do.